Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. The past 4 months of my life has been a complete blur, and honestly it's also been a whirlwind and a roller coaster all at the same time. I feel like I just got catapulted into this new chapter all of a sudden where everything's just happening so fast. And that chapter of life that I'm talking about right now is life without my paternal grandparents. The day March 22nd 2023 was one of the most speechless days of my life, and that was the day that my pop passed away just 78 days ago. And ever since that day, I feel like I'm catching up on life a little bit and kind of making things make sense a little bit. I feel like I'm playing catch up in my mind and starting to remember things again from, before Pop passed away. Because with Grandma, I can tell you, the last time we saw each other and talked and everything. But for a while now, I could not remember the last time I had saw Pop, and my mind just completely went blank. And I could not tell you anything that happened in the previous week because my mind was so full of all of these intrusive thoughts. When I experienced rock bottom, everyone else's life kept moving, and I sort of got lost in that movement. That now I'm trying to catch up again and get back to that level where I don't feel like I'm behind in life, if that makes sense. I'm also in the mix of where when Pop left, I lost a little bit of me at the same time, because I definitely felt myself more agitated the last quarter of this previous school year, because I really didn't like being in public after such a public loss, because I am in a family full of public figures, because my parents are preachers and my grandparents were preachers. So that whole public eye thing, being a pastor's kid, all that, it was just a lot. And when it's like that, being the daughter of pastors and being the granddaughter of pastors as well, you have that love-hate relationship with sharing your family with other people, especially when you are the only child and grandchild. I go in and out of this phase of falling apart. There were just things that my grandparents did for me that I know that my parents don't do, and that is no longer. And I don't have that element in my life anymore. So I'm learning how to do life without it. Emotionally for me, it is heavy because the weight of both grandparents being gone is indescribably weird. In 8 days, it will be the exact day 4 years ago, June 16th, that my grandmother passed away. Little did I know 4 years later that my Pop would be right behind her this soon. And so in between these losses, a lot has happened for me. My surgery, a pandemic, family feud, which definitely altered my mental state, and just more things. So in a sense, I feel like I got suddenly just deprived of such a beautiful chapter in my life since the first day without both of them. I went to go see Pop the Friday before he passed away, and we talked about school, and we were talking about my sophomore year, which I called my sophomore season. And he told me, I can't wait to see you cross the finish line this year. And I definitely bawled my eyes out on the last day of school because I was overcome with emotions, because all I wanted to do was just tell him that I made it through this year. There were countless things that they wanted to witness in my life. Grandma wanted to see me turn 13, but she passed away 3 months before my 13th birthday. But Pop got to see me turn 13 as well as 16 as well, which is very special to me because 13 and 16 were very monumental birthdays for me. And then of course they wanted to be there for my high school graduation, which is 2 years away. So of course, they're not going to get to see that. So everything that they and I and we envisioned, is not going to happen. I don't think I shared this with you guys in the Tuesday Talk episode where I was talking about how I'm doing on this journey of, navigating through life without my grandparents. But I'm just going to share it here now. Flashback to late April. Not early April when I did Pop's edition of Weekend Recap, but late April when I took the YouTube break. During those weeks, when I was not here, on the channel and taking my break, I was just in this very dark guilt trip. And for some reason, I just felt guilty, like I hadn't done something that could have potentially saved Pop Pop, if that makes sense. You know, I felt like there was something I didn't do and I didn't know what that something was. And I know that I did what I was supposed to do. It was just, I still felt like there was something missing that I could have done. You know what I'm saying? And so that's also been a very hard part of this. It's definitely like a mix of emotions because, you know, without Pop Pop here, of course, we are less busy because we don't have to worry about Pop Pop anymore and, you know, take care of him as much as we did when he was here. And so it's like a burden lifted in a sense because he had so many, you know, health challenges and scares and things like that. But at the same time, it's like if I could have had, you know, my grandparents without all of their medical struggles, like I would have been fine. So it's all a mix of emotions because, you know, now that Pop Pop's gone, of course, we are per se less busy because we don't have to worry about Pop Pop anymore and we don't have to like constantly, you know, make sure he's good because, you know, there were so many scares and just it was a lot, you know, and watching Pop Pop suffer was literally one of the most exhausting things of my life. And so now that, you know, that burden has been lifted, I feel like we've been able to do a lot more and just have our lives back. At the same time, you know, I miss his presence and I miss who he was to me. You know, his relationship with me was very, very special and very, very sacred. I just feel like I'm in that space of life where I'm just like, I just need things to make sense. You know what I'm saying? And I know like it's not always going to, but for me in my life and what I've experienced the past 8 years, it's like, I need life to like just make sense again because I'm just tired, I'm exhausted, and it's just been a heck of a year already. But yeah, just letting you guys know how I'm doing on this journey and kind of giving you guys monthly updates of things that I think about on this journey without my grandparents and different things like that. And it is just a lot to tackle mentally, but you know, God has never given me more than I can bear. And the support that he has given me in this season has been phenomenal. Ever since Pop Pop passed away, we have had people that God has had lined up for me, for my family. It has just been beyond words and beyond beautiful. And I'm very grateful for that. Well, I love you guys with all my heart and I will see y'all this weekend for Weekend Recap.